Hey guys, and welcome to this week's episode on Simply Fit, and it's just a look at my commonly used belts I use in the gym. So we're going to look at the Spud Inc powerlifting belt, the Inzer lever belt, the Harris Stability System single prong belt, and the good old Speed double prong powerlifting belt. I do have a couple more belts over here. I've got a Sting lever belt. It's very average, so I'm not even going to bother with that. That's really old. And this is my buddy's Iron Tank double prong belt with the actual prongs, not the conventional prong belt that you see. So that's a little bit different, but it's my buddy's belt. It's very similar to the ones we're going to be reviewing. So let's get into it. Hey guys, and as you can see from the intro, this video is all about my weightlifting belts. So I have a few belts. I've got actually 6 belts here, but I'm just going to go over 4 of them. Like I said, I've got an Iron Tanks belt, which my mate owns, and it's just a double prong one. It's very similar to one of the belts I'll show you here, being the Harris belt. But yeah, I've got a few belts. I enjoy using the belts for different things. Belts are extremely versatile. So a lot of you might be asking, what do you use weightlifting belts for? What's the purpose of them? Some people think that a belt is actually detrimental to your training because it takes away from your core stability. But really what a weightlifting belt is meant to do is create a positive pressure in your abdomen. So you can actually have it up higher, you can have it down low, wherever you're comfortable. You put the belt on, you do it up tight. What I like to do is suck my stomach in, do it up as tight as I can, and then I let my stomach out into it. What it serves as is a reminder to keep your stomach tight and pressed into that belt. That creates a positive pressure in your abdomen. It also helps with your lumbar become tight around your lumbar region. Your L1 to L5 of your vertebrae is susceptible to damage, so a belt can just give you that little bit of peace of mind. Don't rely on it. You're not going to lift more using a belt. You're not going to look any cooler. But anyway, guys, let's get into each belt and what I use it for, because you can really get away with one belt if you're on a budget. So first of all is this Speed powerlifting belt. I've had this belt for about 15 months now, and it's a very basic belt. This is an entry-level belt. I would suggest this for everybody. So straight off the bat, it's 10 millimeters thick. It's got nice nylon stitching. This says one size fits all, but it's a small. So my waist is around about 30 inches. It fluctuates. If I'm a little bit heavier, it might go 34, 36. At the minute, it's around about 32 to 30. So this is a really good belt. It comes in the brown leather, and the Speed logo is usually in brown, so I've just got my red paint pen and gone over it with the red to match the gym. But the basics of this belt, it's a double prong belt. You just put it on and then you adjust it up like you would the belt of your pants. This is my most used belt. It is really versatile. I'll use it for everything. So it's got a nice bit of padding at the back here. And I really think out of all my belts, value for money, this would be the one I go for. So this is $80 Australian, and it's fantastic. It's nice and pliable. You can see it's molded to my shape of my body now, and yeah, it's fantastic. Double prong, really solid. I haven't had any issues with the stitching. I haven't had anything go wrong with this belt. It's just a really good entry-level belt, and if any of you guys are looking for a belt, I'd just go for a belt like this. Protects your back, makes you feel a lot stiffer in the core, gets the job done. So now we've got my Harris powerlifting belt. This was a buddy of mine at work. He had this belt and he didn't use it, so he sold it to me. It's a really good belt. It's 13 millimeters thicker, so compared to that Speed belt, it's 3 millimeters thicker. It's a lot of a stiffer belt. You can see it's a lot stiffer. It's a lot more heavy duty. It's leather with a nylon coating on the top of it, a nylon on the front and back. Harris is conventionally orange and black in color, so it's got the Harris color system. It's a single prong. So my Speed belt was a double prong. This is a single prong, and it's got what's called a trigger wedge here on the end. So basically when you do it up and put it around your waist, you can hold on to it, and you've got a bit of purchase to hold on to, so you can actually do it up nice and tight. So it's a good belt, very stiff. I use this for mainly deadlifts or squats. I do not use this as much as other belts. It's a good belt, but it's not my pick when I come to the stiffer belts. It's good for people that come here and train and use it. Again, it's a very quality belt, and at $130, it's a really good option for a middle of the range belt. So now we move on to the big boy here. This is an Inzer Forever powerlifting belt. This is probably my best belt I have, although it's not my most used. So if you know anything about weightlifting, Inzer's one of the best brands you can get. So this belt right now is called the Forever belt. It's 13 millimeters thick, and it's got one piece 13 millimeter Texas leather. So this is one piece of leather, the whole belt. So it's got the nylon stitching all the way around it, 6 rows of stitching, and it's got the premium suede front and back. So it's one piece of leather with a thin piece of suede for a bit of comfort. It's extremely stiff, but what it does is it molds to your body. So this is a belt one person uses, and that only person. And the way that a lever belt works is you put the belt on, you put the lever into these holes, and you lever it closed. So it snaps closed. So it's sort of one size fits all. The frustrating thing with lever belts is if you lose weight or you put on weight, to adjust it, you need to unscrew it at the back here and then adjust it tighter or looser. So this is a medium. Again, this is a bloke at work, he bought it. It didn't fit him. He was in the bulking phase, it didn't fit him, so I bought it off him. This is an expensive belt. It's $265 Australian, but it comes with a lifetime warranty. So Inzer guarantees this belt for life. If the leather starts to split, if anything comes wrong with this belt, you send them back, they'll send you a new one. So that's peace of mind. It's made in the USA, it's patented, it's proven, it's awesome. I use this belt, again, mainly for squats, not as much for deadlifts, because it is very stiff. When I do find myself squatting down in the deadlift start position, it pinches on my hips and it can leave bruises. So I use this just for squats, but it's a great belt. The other thing with this belt is it's IPF approved, so International Powerlifting Federation approved, which means the width of the belt is IPF approved and the edges aren't rounded. So some belts that are IPF width lose their width because the edges are rounded, so they lose a couple of mils each edge. These edges are just slightly scored, so it's not square and hurting your body, but it's not rounded either. So it's a legit powerlifting belt, IPF specs. So if you're into powerlifting and want to do comps, get an Inzer belt. You know you're going to be using the gear that you're going to use at competitions. So then we move on to this awesome belt, which I bet you a lot of you haven't seen before. Spud Inc, American brand, powerlifting brand. They do a lot of accessories for powerlifting and functional training, but this is their ratchet belt. So what it is this is a nylon material. It's really, really flexible yet stiff. So it's 13 millimeters, same as the Harris belt, same as the Inzer belt. So it's a good thickness, is that IPF thickness of 13. It's got heaps of stitching. It's got 7 rows of stitching, front and back. It looks like it's in 3 pieces of the nylon. It's got the awesome Spud Inc logo stitched into the back there. But the thing I like about this is how quickly and tightly you can adjust it. So even just sitting down here, if I was to chuck it on, you put it through this ratchet. I've done a heap of videos on my Instagram about this, but you put it on, it's got this awesome ratchet, so that's already tight. I just ratchet it up, and that is not going anywhere. That is super tight, it's super comfortable, it doesn't need a wear-in period. Best thing is between sets, instead of taking the belt off, just pull it, loosen up, and now it's loose, but I can still walk around. I can do my star jumps and my burpees, whatever, and I'm not gonna injure myself with this belt. It's not gonna be stiff around my stomach. Easy to take off as well. I love this belt. I use it for deadlift, squats, everything. This is what I'll use for everything. So this belt is very good value. It's $155 Australian from a company called Sam's Fitness. They're in stock. This is their large belt. as I said, with my waist, I probably go a medium just because when I tighten it up, it does go all the way to this double stitching here. So I thought about unpicking the stitching here and moving the whole adjustment thing down a little bit so I get a bit more adjustment on it. The actual length of the belt is perfect. It overlaps just slightly. So measure yourself when you buy these. I'll send up the links below to all the sites where I've got these belts from. But yeah, I love belts, as you can tell. This is a really good belt. They're all fantastic belts in their own regard. But yeah, guys, I hope you liked that video. It's just a quick one about my belts. Let me know what belts you have and what you use them for. I'd love to see people jump on my Instagram at simplyfit.goalgoal. Send me through some pictures of your belts, what exercises you use them for, what belts you have. I know that people like iron tanks in Australia, so if you've got an iron tank belt, show me it and let's have a chat about it. But thanks for watching the channel, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Can you leave a comment? Can you share the video if you can, because it helps out the algorithm and helps me out a lot. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching the video, and until next time, keep flexing.